Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another stream. I have been missing missing in action for a few days. Had a bit of a administration, bureaucracy, French government issues to do with the fact that I'm not French. But I think I've partially sorted those issues out at least, or I'm on the track to sorting them out, which is lovely. Ellie, not now. Go on, go in your bed. I'm working. I can't play with you right now. I'm sorry. So this won't be the longest stream. We're just doing a little bit of a stream just to get back into the habit of, you know, being live and all that. So yeah, hello, welcome back. As you can see, my face is present as well. I'm trying not to freak out about it because yeah, I don't know. I've been a bit weird about having my face on stream recently. But I'm trying to get back into the habit of it because there's nothing wrong with having a face. For some reason, I seem to always get a little bit anxious about showing my face. And I just really need to get over it, you know. So I guess this little stream is part of me trying to get used to the idea of showing my face again. Yes, Tiny Corv. I decided that, you know, because I'm not the most confident with the face cam, I've decided that we'll start out with a small face cam for now. And we'll gradually make the face cam bigger as I get more confident. You know, I just thought maybe that could somehow solve the issue of me being a little bit hesitant. You know, one day I will fill the frame indeed. One day I will feel confident enough to blow my face up, you know, bigger than Jeff Bezos's face. And it'll be a beautiful moment. But until then, we're dealing with some, you know, tiny core for now. Until I get back into the habit of showing my face. It shouldn't be such a big deal, really. Hello, Josh B. Hello, Rob. How's it going? I mean, it shouldn't be such a big deal, but I don't know. There's something about being perceived that really, for some reason, it is a bit freaky. So how's everyone doing today? Big news. The Queen is dead. I mean, not that it really changes much in the big, you know, in the actual structure of the monarchy, but I suppose at least people are talking about it, you know, the monarchy, in some ways. Maybe some people will start questioning it a bit more. I think a lot of people forget that the royals exist most of the time because they're just so freaking useless, you know? So maybe this will spark some discourse and some questioning of, you know, why they even exist, you know, these days anyway. Hello, everyone. Hello, Lance. Hello, Rob. Hello, everyone. So one thing I don't get is that in school in America, we were taught that one reason it's good that we stopped having British colonies is that we have democracy and monarchies aren't good, and yet we're still expected to like the Queen. I know, right? It's so strange. It's like even people who are like politically against monarchies, for some reason, the Queen, I don't know, it must be because she's a cute old, well, quote unquote, cute old lady in cute little dresses who, you know, for some reason, people just kind of, and I've seen a lot of takes online where people are saying like, oh, well, she didn't do all of the colonizing. She turned up afterwards and she was part of the decolonization efforts. And that means that we shouldn't really be. And it's just like, what? I'm sorry. No, you can't stop people from criticizing the biggest symbol of the British monarchy. And the whole freaking British colonial history. Like you can't stop people from criticizing that just because she's a little old lady who was born a bit later than the other people who did. And also, it doesn't even hold up because when you look at the history, she was definitely alive for a lot of the bullshit that happened. Hello, howdy, Spec. Bill Clinton posted on Twitter like 10 minutes after the death announcement how sad he was and how good she was. Bill Clinton. We shouldn't be forgetting what happened with the Clinton Foundation and Haiti. That was a fucking mess, wasn't it? I was looking at that the other day, actually, before all of this. I don't know why I was looking up what happened after that earthquake and where all those funds went. And it's just very, very shady, isn't it? It's all very, very shady. Oh, are we still live? Are we still live? Is everything working? It said disconnected. No, we're still good. We still good? We're still good. Hello, Seek. How's it going? I haven't seen you around in a while. The cost of the funeral and crowning is making more people mad than the cost of the weddings did, at least. Oh my God, Lance, I've been thinking about this all day. All day I've just been thinking, how much is the funeral going to cost? How much is the funeral going to cost? Because when you think about it, right, it's a state funeral. It's a state funeral that they get, which is ridiculous because they're so freaking rich. They should be paying for their own damn funerals, right? But no, it's a state funeral. And so I was doing a bit of research online about state funerals and I couldn't really find any real information about, how state funerals are really funded, which I thought was a bit weird. I did find some stuff about the state funeral in China, I think, but I don't know if it's the same. But I mean, a state funeral means that the government is funding it, right, with taxpayer money, I think, right? I mean, I'm gonna do a bit more research about this, right? But I've been doing a bit of research, and I just find it completely ludicrous that the state is going to fund the funeral of one of the richest people. It's just amazing. And also hang on, Bob Ross is going a bit fast for me right now. I was looking up how much money they get from the government and the state and everything. And apparently the British monarchy's spending on travel costs, renovation costs and all that, because they're renovating Windsor Castle or something, or Buckingham Palace or whatever, one of those ridiculous places that they own. They're renovating one of those places. And so before the Queen died, they were already set to get a massive injection of, much more money in the years to come because of this renovation that they're doing, something like 30 million. And their spending over the past years has gone up 40%, 50% or something. And so it's really ridiculous. And as you say, Seek, with the current gas prices, I was just thinking, like, it's just going to be disgusting to see how much her funeral is going to cost. While, in a few months, there will be so many people in Britain freezing because they can't afford heating because of the gas, the prices of energy and gas and all that. And now I'm not in Britain myself right now. I'm in France. But my electricity bill has gone up from 44 euros a month to 59. And that is considering that the French government has actually put a cap on how much it can rise. I don't think that's the case in Britain. So I think in Britain it's going to be much, much worse, the rising energy prices. Yeah, we pay for everything, I think. Yeah, a state-funded funeral. Now, I am going to be doing a bit more research about this because I'm kind of unsure about how state-funded funerals work. But from what I understand, yeah, they are paid for by the taxpayer, which just seems just preposterous. It just seems disgusting to me, like personally. You know, in the UK, it's expected to be something like a 500% increase, which is fucking wild. Oh my God. My Lord. Lord. That's a funny word to be using, isn't it? Lord in this, you know, current situation, you know. I'm trying to keep up with Bob Ross. I've got him on half speed and he's still speeding away. But to be fair, I am ranting about the monarchy while I'm trying to do this painting tutorial. So I'm sure he would be understanding of how slow I am right now. French millionaires' energy bills are literally being subsidized by the energy bills of British EDF customers living in poverty. Okay, I'll have to do a bit more research about that as well, because what the hell? The hell? Well, I think the thing is like I think a lot of people are in this situation of not minding the royals because most of the time you just forget they exist. So it's quite easy to not mind them because like what's their purpose? They're not like doing, you know what I mean? They're from what I understand, they're not supposed to get involved in politics either. So it's not like they're out here saying really inflammatory things all the time. Although, you know, it doesn't stop, you know, it doesn't stop the, is it the Queen's son who's like literally a paedophile? Sorry, this stream is a mess. I'm just like literally just rambling about stuff. Can I just say I appreciate the trans skyline Bob Ross has painted here. I also really do appreciate it, although mine is looking not great. Bob Ross is they are useful for relations with other countries. They do stuff. Yeah, but surely we could have other people that would be more useful for relations for other countries who would be able to do that stuff without being paid so much. I mean, okay, so look, if your opinion is that, oh my God, thank you so much, Rob, for the donation. Thank you, Rob. Oh my God. Thank you. That will be going, unfortunately, to my landlord, but, you know, that's just how it is at the moment. Thank you so much. I'm a bit panicked about the rent at the moment because I was supposed to stream this week, but then I got a damn letter from the French government saying they want to freaking take me to court because of some benefits they gave me that when I didn't have my residency card, and it's just been a whole panicky freaking week. But we'll be fine. I'm on it. I've got my friends helping me. We'll be okay. But yeah, so the thing is like, okay, maybe, you know, in certain cases, you know, it could be argued that they're good for relations with other countries. But the thing is, I'm sure there are a lot of people who would be even more qualified than them at being good for relations with other countries who don't require £100 million a year for living expenses. When you look at the amount of money that the state gives the royal family for living expenses, it is ridiculous. Like, nobody needs that much for living expenses. Okay, I'm sure that we can send people to other countries for, you know, maintaining good relations without giving them hundreds of millions a year so that they can eat golden encrusted donuts or whatever they have for breakfast. You know what I mean? Scones, sorry. We're in Britain, so it'll probably be scones. But you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like they don't need as much money as they get. That's the whole point, okay? Look, I'm not here to say that we should send them to another planet. Whatever, you know, they can stick around if they want. But what I'm saying is they should not be getting the amount of money that they do. It is just preposterous that so many people in Britain, so many kids are hungry. People can't afford energy. They can't afford heating. You know, it is just ridiculous. Like, in my opinion, they should be getting a lot less money. You know, they should be downsizing. Also, I think that they shouldn't be living in those big palaces or whatever that they have. Those palaces should be, you know, tourist attractions or something, you know, open them to the public. You know, you'd probably get a lot more money from tourism if you actually let the tourists go in and visit them, a bit like they do in the Palace of Versailles in France. You know, I don't buy the argument that the monarchy is good for tourism. You know, I think that it would be better for tourism if you let the tourists in these historical buildings that these freaking people live in. Turn their palaces into social housing. Yeah, I mean that's also another idea. I would think, you know, keep the palaces how they are, open them to tourists, and all of the money that is gained from tourism to the palaces can be used to fund social housing, maybe. Because I'm not sure if the palaces are really set up in a way, like in a logical way, to house families. But I like the sentiment. I really do like the sentiment. Make them into museums like France did, right? And all of the money from admission to entry can be funneled back into social programs for the poor. It can be funneled back into the countries that Britain fucked over. I don't know. I guess I'm just literally this weird, very weird takes I'm having right now. But like, yeah, you know. Thank you so much, Rob. I am very, very much closer to deleting my landlord now. Thank you. Thank you for popping in, Josh B. Turn the palaces into theme parks. Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea too. Their properties are literally worth billions, right? That's a very good point. They are worth billions. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, that part of the reason they're getting millions more in state funding over the years to come is because of renovation work being done on the properties. I'm not sure if it's Windsor or Buckingham Palace or both, but basically, you know, all of the plumbing and electric and there's asbestos. Asbestos? Is that the right word? Yeah, there's loads of stuff wrong in these properties, you know, kind of because they're quite old properties. And so it's come to the point where they need to be renovated. And so that is why they are getting a massive amount of funding, way more than they've had in the past years, in the coming up years, to renovate these places that are literally useless. I mean, useless. They're not, well, I mean, they don't. If it was like the Palace of Versailles or whatever, and they were actually open to, you know, they actually served some kind of, you know, purpose as a museum or a theme park. But no. They're just big freaking places that rich people. It's just, oh God. I wonder how much of the funding gets lost. Well, I wonder how much of the funding goes towards just ridiculous expenses like, I don't know, suits and ties that cost like £5,000, like £10,000 for a pair of shoes. I don't know, you know? Because living expenses for the royal family, let's be real here, living expenses, they don't look like living expenses for you and me. You know, it's completely different kind of living expenses we're talking about, right? You know, as much as they say, oh, you know, we need 100 million for whoever the hell for living expenses. I mean, what kind of living expenses are we talking about here? We're talking about private jets. We're talking about $1,000 pound suits and clothes. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands in garden parties and receptions and alcohol and food. Like, and all of this is state funded? How is this? Can't they be paying for all of this themselves? I'm sorry. I hope my rant isn't too incoherent. I mean, I don't know. I just 2 million of their funds last year went to paying off one of Prince Andrew's victims. And that's state money. Like, surely this should be coming out of Prince Andrew's freaking bank account. Huh? I don't know. I just how is it possible that hello Remy, how's it going? I've been rambling about the monarchy for literally since I started, and Bob Ross is speeding away. I mean, to be fair, I haven't really been focusing. But free the Scots, unite Ireland. Yes. I'm not on Twitter at the moment, but apparently Irish Twitter, Scottish Twitter, and Black Twitter has been having a day, with the memes and stuff. They've all been going for it. I've been thinking about getting back on Twitter just to see what's going on, but then I thought it's probably best just to stay on the sidelines for now. My return to Twitter will happen at some point. What am I even doing right now? Look, please don't judge my painting. We're going to try and make this look okay, but for the moment, I will admit it doesn't look great. I'm not even sure what these are supposed to be. Is it supposed to be like trees or something? I don't know. Have you seen the Argentinian TV show that celebrated her death? Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I saw a clip from it with a guy who was like, "Yay!" and then he was popping champagne and talking about genocide and like British genocide and stuff, and I was like, "What a legend!" Like, I don't know. Look, I get it that a lot of people are like, oh, well, why, have some respect. Like, she was just an old lady, whatever. It's just like, well, if she was just an old lady and she wanted to distance herself from all of the atrocities that had been committed by the monarchy and the royal family, then she could have just not been, she could have just stopped being the queen at any point. And she could have apologized. She could have said a lot of, there's a lot of things she could have done that she didn't. So I'm not sure why. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm painting right now. What am I doing? This is awful. It's fine. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get to something that looks like something. But Bob Ross is kicking my ass right now. Not that it's a competition, but my painting looks like, not great. Okay. Oh, I see. It's like a forest. Oh, oh my God. In all seriousness, she's not like the old ladies who will freeze to death this winter. Yeah, exactly, right? She's not like the old ladies who will freeze to death this winter. She was one of them, arguably the most privileged old lady who on the planet, never known a day of 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 not being able to pay rent or being cold because she couldn't turn the heating on because she didn't have enough. These are people who are just completely, who have no idea what the real realities of regular people are. Bob's killing it. Bob is killing it. I'm not, but Bob is for sure. I mean, the truth is she was just an incredibly rich, privileged old lady who benefited from hundreds of years of brutal colonialism. I mean, you know, you can argue that she was born after the worst of it, but if she really cared about, you know, about all of that, then perhaps she would have said something, or she would have, you know, abdicated. Is that a word? Like, you know, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing. Hang on. Oh, God. Bob, you're so fast. How do you go so fast, Bob? He's been doing it for some time. It's very, very true. Bob does have a lot more experience than me. So I'm sure it's okay that I'm a bit slow. I don't know. I just think it's time to perhaps put the monarchy to a vote. You know, if you put Brexit to a vote, why not the monarchy? I don't understand why it hasn't been put to a vote yet. You know, why not? How come? How come? How come the you know, the head of, what are they called? The head of the state? I don't know what their official title is. How come there's no vote? How come there's no vote? Hmm? Although, I mean, to be fair, you know, just because you get rid of the monarchs doesn't mean that you will get rid of the atrocities of colonialism, and it doesn't mean that Britain would stop. I mean, France is a very good example, right? I mean, France hasn't had a king or a queen or whatever in ages, and yet France, I think, currently is the European country that still engages in the most colonial bullshit overseas, if I'm not mistaken. Corv, you are definitely not beating the devil out of it. Are you talking about the painting? Did Bob Ross tell me to beat the devil out of it? Am I being too oh, damn mosquito. Am I being too do I need to beat the devil out of it? She never acknowledged the atrocities and the slavery she benefited from. Exactly. Exactly. From what I understand, I looked online. Apparently, the king or queen or whatever, the royal family are expected to not engage in politics and be neutral politically. They're not expected. They're expected not to vote. And it just seems so strange to me. Like, what? Okay, so these people are supposed to be the people that we send overseas to have good relations with other countries politically, but also they're supposed to be politically neutral and never say anything political? What? Huh? What, so they're just rich people in nice clothes that we pay to have ridiculously lavish lives? I need to be using the blender. That's what I need to be doing. But the monarch still has to approve some government actions. I know, right? It's really confusing, and I will be doing more research about it. Because I do find it quite, you know, quite fascinating, really. the hell am I doing right now? This is just a mess. As if they lose anything from not being able to vote, all their needs and wants are catered to. Yeah, I mean, and I think from what I understand, they can actually vote. Like they're not barred from voting, but I think it's suggested that they shouldn't vote or something. From what I understand, like they're allowed to vote, but it's suggested that they shouldn't. Not that that makes, not that it makes any difference, but. And their position is inherently political. Yeah, I mean, exactly right. It just seems very strange to me. It's all just very strange. Very, very, very strange. Hey, Corv, I'm kind of new to politics and philosophy and struggle with finding reliable sources. Oh, well, I guess it depends on your political leanings, I guess. I mean, my suggestions are all going to be, quite socialism, if you get what I mean. I mean, if you're here, that's probably what you want anyway. But, but yeah, I mean, I'm what many would call a bit of a commie. In some, a bit of a Marxist, but I also struggle, to find reliable sources and stuff. I mean, at the moment, what I quite like is, what I've been doing over the past year is reading some Marxist theory, which has been quite nice for me personally. I think the Communist Manifesto is a really good read, to be honest. Like, it is a good read. And it's not too difficult of a read as well. I mean, compared to some other stuff in that theory realm. I don't agree with capitalism and how people die. Not because of the absences of resources, rather lack of money. Well, yeah, I mean, I found the Communist Manifesto to be a very scathing critique of capitalism that gave me a lot of hope in a lot of ways. Personally. I can't read theory. I listen to it instead. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. There's quite a few YouTube channels on on YouTube, of course, that have audiobooks of people reading. I think there's a YouTube channel called Audible Socialism on YouTube that has people reading quite a few books of theory. If you're interested in that kind of thing. And yeah, it can be nice to read, I mean, to listen to it instead of read it, because, it's not the easiest thing, is it, to keep your focus on a theory book. God, this painting's pretty hard. I think it's all these trees. They're kind of throwing me off. Maybe I need a different brush. Oh, that's not a brush. Do you know any critiques against socialism? How do you justify it for yourself? Well, I mean, to find critiques of socialism, you don't really have to go very far. I mean, growing up in a capitalist society, I've been bombarded with anti-socialist propaganda ever since I was a child. So I didn't really have to go far to find critiques of socialism. You know, like I've been raised in a capitalist society that is constantly lauding the amazing, capitalism and how great it is. So, and when it comes to socialism and why I think it's, I mean, there's many reasons, and I suppose I should probably do a more specific stream to go into why I personally am convinced that it's the best way forward for, for us all. I suppose I've always been very critical of capitalism, even as a child, but I've only got more radical as I have gotten more disabled and as I've had to fend for myself and, exist under this system and seeing others struggle as well. The huge wealth disparities and the cost of living and how difficult it is for people to survive. There is enough to go around on this planet for everyone. There's enough resources for everyone to be able to live a life where they don't go to bed hungry or cold and where they have, a roof over their heads. And I guess that's what, sorry, I'm I'm trying to follow this Bob Ross video while talking about this. I'm from India, so I deal with a lot of forced nationalism and culture preservation and religion, although my family struggles in providing me help regarding my really worsening mental health, but I can't really blame them. I'm sorry to hear about that with the worsening mental health. It's a hard country to make sense around. Thank you all for popping in today to listen to my somewhat incoherent rambling. I would like to do a stream perhaps where I explain my my current political stances a little bit more in depth. Because I know at one point on YouTube I did an AMA and I said that I kind of identified as like an anarchist or like something. And I guess my views have somewhat changed since then. I mean, I still consider, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that anarchists aren't welcome in my in my community or stream or anything. Not at all. Anyone who is sick of capitalism, very much a comrade of mine. The thing is that since I have been becoming more and more disabled, I have been veering more towards the Marxist slash communist side of all of that, simply because of how important industry is for disabled people. And I know that in a lot of the anarchist theory and stuff that I've heard about, there's a lot of kind of, I don't know. I know, look, I'm not going to go too far into it now, but let's just say that capitalism's industrial power, let's just say, is very much necessary to carry that over into the, next forms of society or whatever that we manage to, if we manage to get there. I do believe that we will. But how are we gonna produce wheelchairs without industry? And how are we gonna mass produce medication? All of that. That's the kind of thing that I suppose has pushed me towards different. Not so different, because I'm still very much a leftist who is anti-capitalism and all of that. I'm still figuring out all of this myself, I hope no one's taking me as some kind of, I don't purport to be someone who knows it all when it comes to all of this. I'm still learning a lot myself. But I really need to find a brush that simulates this wide kind of fanned brush that he has for trees and highlights, because I'm having an issue replicating that. You're moving up. I'm moving. Okay. Farah says, I'm moving away from statist beliefs, but being disabled makes it a lot harder for me to accept a lot of common anarchist arguments. Many anarchists simply don't care about providing for disabled people and don't realize how scary that attitude is. Yes, exactly. It's Farah. Exactly. That is exactly why I have been, moving away from anarchist thought, even though I still consider anarchists to be my comrades in the fight against capitalism. It's just that I think that in some respects we diverge in our opinions about industry and the benefits of industry and industrial, that kind of, like I've heard a lot of, I don't want to paint anarchists with the same brush here. It's like, I know that there are lots of different forms and opinions in anarchism, but yeah, yeah. You've heard my song about parasocial relationships. It rocks. Thank you so much. I've recently been trying to get back into making some music. Part of the reason that I've had a long break from YouTube and music making is disability. But now that I've got a bit more of a disability accessible setup, I've been trying to get back into considering making music. So it's nice to hear that you liked my parasocial relationship song. I want to make another song about parasocial relationships, like Parasocial Relationships 2 or something. Thank you all for stopping by today for this stream. I'm not being very fast with the painting. I'm very sorry. I mean, I've been streaming 45 minutes. I'm so slow. It's fine. We're starting to get something that looks a little bit like a painting, but... Nobody hears about COVID anymore. Nobody cares about COVID anymore. Got it for the first time recently. Yeah, I mean, COVID, God, nobody cares about COVID. I know. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Mutual aid is an anarchist premise. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't want to bash mutual aid at all. Mutual aid's a brilliant thing. More so, you know, I've seen quite a few, I don't know, I've just seen quite a lot of anarchists say stuff about like industry and like, I don't know, that kind of makes me a bit worried about like, how are we going to mass produce wheelchairs in a world where like, I don't know. But once again, I do consider anarchists to be my comrades. I think I just have started to like somewhat differ in some respects, you know, when it comes to industrialization and the importance of industry, sorry. But once again, I know that's not, you know, not necessarily all anarchists have the same opinions about that. Wait, did I miss anarchism chat? Oh, Spec, I was kind of talking about how, you know, I used to kind of identify as a anarchist, and recently, as I've gotten more disabled, I've kind of veered more towards Marxism and, you know, being a bit more of a commie. But I was saying, like, I still consider anarchists to be my comrades in the sense that we're all, you know, we all detest capitalism and we think it's, you know, poisoning the world and we need to be rid of it. It's just that sometimes I've seen some takes from anarchists about, you know, industrial mass production that make me a bit worried as a disabled person who relies on medication and on a wheelchair. You know, my wheelchair is only possible because of industry. There are lots of anarchists in the public sphere who push back very vocally against anarcho-primitivism, but they're often unclear on what post-revolutionary industry should look like. Yeah, see, it's the fact that there's no real clear idea of what post-revolutionary industry should look like that kind of scares me a bit as someone who relies on a wheelchair that's only my wheelchair. It, you know, it was only possible to make wheelchairs like this because of the what is it? Like, what's the airplane industry called? The aero. Yeah, they use like airplane technology to solder the really light metals used to make this kind of wheelchair or something. Oh, Lenny, thank you so much for all of the gifted subs. Wow. Thank you so much, Lenny, for the 10 tier 1 gifted subs. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Lenny, for being a supporter of this channel. Thank you. It means an absolute ton. Thank you. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you. Isn't that like primitivism? It smacks of primitivism to me. Yes, yeah, it is. It is. It is. It does smack of primitivism, and that kind of primitivism penchant. That's a French word. It's just that I've seen a lot of anarchist takes that kind of lean towards that. They're not always full on in that, but sometimes they do lean towards that. And the more disabled I've gotten, and the more I've relied on, things that are mass produced by industry in order to survive and be somewhat independent, the more that's kind of worried me a bit, But I still, as I said, I still consider anarchists to be my comrades in the fight against capitalism. It's just that I've started to lean away from it a bit the more disabled I've gotten. But I'm still very open to reading anarchist theory. I'm still very open to discussing, the horrors of capitalism with anarchists. There's no, I'm not here to diss people who use that word to define themselves. I'm just explaining why I've started to somewhat lean away from it a little bit. I tried to make a donation like last time. PayPal won't work. I'm so sorry, Lenny, about that. That's very, very strange that PayPal doesn't work. Thank you so much, Lenny, for the gifted subs. Hello to the south of Boston from the south of France. Rob likes anarcho-syndicalism ideas. Yeah, well, I used to identify as an anarcho-syndicalist. Yeah, I did. I did used to, that's what I used to identify as. So I understand the appeal, I do. Hello, Lior. How's it going? Do I have a Discord channel? I do, Lenny. I do. Please do send me a DM on Twitch, and the Discord channel, it currently works on an automatic invite system when you sign up for my Patreon. But, with the amount of subs that you've gifted to the channel, Lenny, no problem. I can invite you to it. If you just send me a little DM on Twitch, or I'll send you one later. Hang on. Lenny, how can I send you a DM? I'm such a boomer. I feel like the more disabled I become, the more anarchist I become. At least in the US, it feels like anarchists are the only people who actually seem to care about disability in any capacity. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. Lenny, I will send you a DM on Twitch for the Discord. I'll do that once I stop streaming. God, Bob, you're just speeding along here. I've been following you since months on YouTube and Patreon. I'm glad you're okay. Cheers from Toulouse. Oh, you're from Toulouse too? Wow, cheers from Toulouse. I'm also from Toulouse. Bob Ross rocks. He does. I'm not sure if anyone's ever been in my chat from Toulouse like me. It's a rare occurrence. I think the left in general just doesn't actually care about disabled folks. Okay, yeah, spec, that's 100% correct. Okay, that's actually 100% correct. And, you know, as much as I've said recently, you know, oh, you know, I'm leaning more towards the Marxism and commie side of things, you know, I think that, you know, there's a big, there are big gaps left to be filled in these spaces when it comes to disability. You know, but theoretically, when I read the theory, it seems like there is space for disability. And I have a few articles to read actually that I've been sent by Marxists about disability that I will get to reading. I need to get to read those. But you know, there's a quote. I'm not sure if it's in the Communist Manifesto or if it's in another book of theory that I read. And it's to each according to their ability and to each according to their need. And, you know, I think there's a lot of room in that quote for disabled people to exist, you know, to each according to their ability and to each according to their need, you know, considering the ability of each person and considering the needs of each person, you know, with empathy and care, you know, and logic, you know. I have a hard time putting a specific political label on myself. I know I'm a big capitalism hater, but I don't think anarchism or communism are without their flaws. I'd like to sign up with the movement that's the best for the well-being of us tea-babes. Toulouse is a lovely city. It's okay, yeah. It's okay. Yeah. I mean, the right definitely doesn't care about disabled people either. But let's just say that ableism isn't exactly the most popular hot topic. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people just think it's like not really the most important thing to talk about, you know? Which is a bit silly because really it's, you know, losing ability, you know, thinking about able bodies and disabled bodies under capitalism. I mean, it's something that affects everyone. Even if you yourself are not disabled, you probably know someone in your family that is disabled. And at some point in your life, you probably will be considered disabled because, you know, age affects us all, right? And age comes with a loss of ability in a lot of ways. Why is it that ableism isn't more of a talking point? I mean, maybe it's the fear of aging, the fear of death. People don't want to think about their bodies being, you know, things that can, you know, that can, you know, well, you know, some people need wheelchairs and maybe you'll need a wheelchair one day, but people don't want to think about that, right? That quote has always given me hope. To each according to their ability, to each according to their need. I think that's the quote. I'm probably saying it like slightly wrong, but I just love the fact that I need to read these theory books again because I read them last year. And I need to brush up on the theory again so that I can talk about it more coherently on stream. But I really liked the fact that in these theory books that I was reading last year, there was a lot of talk about ability and able bodies and, you know, people having different levels of ability, to each according to their ability, to each according to their need. Now, look, theoretically, that's lovely. I would just love for I don't know. From each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. Ah, there we are. That's the proper quote. Thank you, Lior. Capitalism is torn between the intention to leave disabled people behind and the need to sell stuff to disabled people. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but yeah, that's very, very true. What about her needs, huh? Yeah, true, it should definitely be there. From each according to their ability, to each according to their needs. Or his or her. His, her, they. But yeah, Rob, you know, the anarcho-syndicalism is definitely how I would have described myself a few years ago. So, you know, it's really not very far off from how I feel now, you know. It's you know, pretty similar stances to be found, you know. I don't think that my politics have really changed that much. It's just that I've been reading more Marxist theory, and so I guess I've just been leaning more towards describing myself as a Marxist instead of an anarcho-syndicalist. But I mean, really, how I feel about capitalism and the world, I mean, it hasn't really changed much. So, you know, that's why I still consider, yeah, there's a lot of crossover, exactly. And that's why, you know, in the fight against capitalism, we are all comrades in that sense, right? Although, you know, as I said earlier, there are certain branches of anarchism that go too far into the primitivism. You know, it's this very romanticized idea of departing from capitalism, departing from industry, and getting back to the roots of being human and blah blah blah. But the thing is that what about people who need insulin? And what about people who need a new wheelchair every 3 years? And what about the railway infrastructure and systems? And what about, you know, you know, there's a lot of, well, what about, you know, you know what I mean? But yeah, when it comes to like anarcho-syndicalism and the kind of anarchism that doesn't lean into that kind of primitivism stuff, I definitely recognize a lot of my own political stances there, and there's a lot of crossover there, and I often agree with a lot of people who have those stances. So wheelchairs need to be replaced after 3 years. Oh shit. Well, technically, I think if you have a proper, if you have proper medical care, then wheelchairs should be replaced every 3 to 5 years, I think. But obviously, most people, you know, can't access that kind of stuff. There are some wacky anarchist subsets, like anarcho-capitalists. Yeah, I mean, what the hell is going on with that, Rob? To be fair, there's plenty of other ideologies that go way off into the shitty weeds for sure. And there are some wacky commie subsets as well. For sure, for sure. I'm not sure if wheelchairs need to be replaced after 3 years. Maybe that's too soon. But I think people who have wheelchairs and who are properly recognised for their disabilities and have proper medical care and insurance and all of that, I think they do get their wheelchairs replaced every 3 to 5 years or something. Because when you use your wheelchair every day outside to get around everywhere, like the wear and tear is quite noticeable. I mean, especially if you travel with your wheelchair, you know, if you go on a plane with your wheelchair, I mean, you know, a lot of stuff can happen. Anarcho-capitalism is not a thing. There's nothing anarchists about them. They just use the term explicitly to piss off leftists. Very true. Very true. Very true. You know, once again, you know, I hope everyone understands that I myself am still learning about these things. I'm a bit of a baby, in the realm of Marxist theory and thought. You know, I'm still learning a lot. What the hell am I doing right now? This painting is not going as well as the last one. I am, I do apologize. I wished I had a brush that was kind of like slanted. Maybe what the hell? No, that's not what I want. Wow. Okay. No. Hmm. Ooh. Taper. Hang on. Oil paint. Shape. Uh. Oh. Hmm. Yeah, I'll do some research about this because this looks a bit complicated for my brain right now. Well, I hope no one feels too, too alienated by what I've said about my political leanings. I don't feel, for as much of as I've said, I don't consider myself an anarchist at this point in time. It doesn't mean that I don't consider anarchists to be comrades, or at least the anarchists who I don't want anyone to feel like I'm dissing their you know feel like that I don't want people to think that I respect them less because they don't because they you know identify as an anarcho-syndicalist or whatever, because I myself did not very long ago. So I absolutely understand why you would. Really, it's just simply that well, last year I read some some Marxist theory, and here we are. I actually am set to read some more, and I hope to talk about it on stream. Talk about you know why why it affected me so last year. Last year, last year was quite difficult for me. On the hope, uh, hope for the future level. I felt like there was no hope for the future of humanity at a lot of points. And reading the theory that I did last year really it helped me in a lot of ways. And it gave me a lot of that hope back because of how, oh my God, the video's finished? I haven't finished. Oh no. Bob the Hedgehog got to go fast. I've got Bob at half speed as well. And yet here we are, struggling to keep up. Hang on a second, I just need to plug in my phone because it's running out of battery. But, yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not against reading, you know, anarchist theory and integrating it into my readings. I just need to plug my phone in, hang on. And really, you know, in the fight against capitalism, I think we all, you know, we all are comrades when we agree that it is an incredibly oppressive system that thrives off of war and inequality. It's closely tied to imperialism, and I think, you know, I consider anyone who is disgusted by all of this and who wants revolutionary change, not reform, revolutionary change, you know, anyone who you know, you're my comrade if that's the case, you know, no matter how you call yourself. Huel shirt, new sponsor. Oh God, I wish, Rob. No, I'm wearing a Huel shirt because when you sign up, when you first order Huel, you get a free shirt. And so what I've done is that every time I ordered Huel, I used another email address so that I could get another free shirt. So I've got like 5 or 6 Huel shirts. So I haven't had to buy a shirt in ages. But no, I'm not sponsored by Huel, unfortunately. Infinite shirt glitch. Yeah, don't tell Huel though, or they'll never sponsor me. Hello, Jasper. Your painting's very pretty. Why, thank you. It's not as good as Bob's, but we're getting there. Have you seen there's a Huel clothing brand now? Yeah, I did see, and apparently, I mean, I looked at the prices of the shirts and I was like, damn, getting free shirts is pretty cool. But the credit card or whatever is the same. Don't they notice? No, they don't notice. As long as you use a new email address, they don't notice. So, yeah, that's my little tip. If you ever want to buy powdered meals from Huel, use a new email address every time and you'll get a free shirt and shaker. And the shirts are actually really good quality as well. Like, they're the best quality shirts I own, to be honest. Currently walking through the streets, sharing your calming voice with the world because you forgot your earbuds. Ah, I'm very happy to hear that my voice is calming. Wardrobe? You've got a Huel-drobe at this point. Exactly. Literally, like, every day I'm wearing a Huel shirt. I don't even have any Huel left, but thank you, Jasper. For the compliment. I'm trying my best, even though Bob Ross, I was about to say Bob because I say Rob so much. I was about to say Bob. Bob is going way too fast for me per usual. We've got him on half speed, and he is speedy freaking Gonzalez over. He's going so fast. I'm gonna have to go backwards again. Right. I will be right back. I just need to go to the restroom. I will be back in literally, I don't know, like a minute. So, yeah. I'll turn up the smooth jazz. There we go. And I'll be back. I'm back. I'm back. I have returned from the void. So we've got the face cam back, and you've probably noticed that we've got no background again. I am once again a head floating in the void. I don't know how people feel about it. Do we prefer it? You like how I appear out of the void? Okay, well, I will take that into consideration. I also do quite like the Corv in the void look, although it doesn't look quite as professional because sometimes there's some pop in, pop out or something. But I do quite like it as well, I must say. I enjoy it. I'll just make that a little bit bigger so we can get... There we go, look. Got both my hands. I can point at Jeff. Your hair is invisible. I know, isn't it a shame? Now, Rob, I've been thinking about how I can resolve the hair being invisible problem, because it is a bit of an issue, isn't it, really? I mean, it would be nice to see my hair, because I do actually have quite, I've got quite a lot of it at the moment as well. Look. I mean, can't... Yeah, the hair is invisible. So what I've been thinking about doing is dyeing it blonde bitch era. Exactly, Remy. You said what was on my mind. What I was thinking is I could dye the top of my hair blonde, like at least the top of it. Now, I'm not sure if I want to dye the ends blonde, because I've done that before, and the texture of it is just, it gets quite dry, and I like fiddling with the tips of my hair, and it's quite soothing to me when it's all soft and nice. But why not dye, this whole fringe situation, have like a blonde fringe kind of mess up here, and then kind of, you know what I mean? Blondes have more fun. Is Twitch ready for blonde-viday? I don't know. See, the thing is, Lance, I have actually had e-boy hair before. Back in my anarcho-syndicalist days. It's going to be like a running joke now. Back when I was 22, I had much shorter hair, and it was I dyed it platinum blonde, and then I dyed it like a lavender color. It was like an ashy lavender white. And that was truly something. If I had been on the internet back then, people would have been thirsting over me, I swear. I thought you're in your 20s. I am in my 20s. I'm not 22. I'm 27 now. Which, I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm still the same guy, but I'm a lot wiser than I was back then. That is the most femboy thing I've... Yeah, it was like lavender, white, ashy hair. It was really nice, actually. And then I shaved it all off. And then it grew back. And now here we are in the current state of things, I suppose. But would my hair be more visible if the background wasn't so dark? That's a good question. Hang on. I'm just going to edit the background color quickly. Sorry, this probably isn't the most this probably isn't the most interesting stream content, me editing my background, but... Oh, hang on. I thought you wanted the background to be black. Yeah, but maybe I can make it like a little bit lighter so that we can see my hair. It doesn't look like it. Oh. You see my hair now? Barely. No different. What's with the moving dots? They're the embers of, they're the sparks and embers of my revolutionary sentiment. Really, it's just the background that I put up, like a GIF that I put up so that it would be more interesting, I suppose, to see. I don't know. I could remove it. I don't know if, I mean, if people don't like it, I can get rid of it, but... Maybe that's a bit better. Like a dark red? Can we get anarcho-syndicalist corv pics in the Discord? I want to see the hair. I'll try and find some. I'll try and find some pictures of my hair before. I will see what I can do off stream to resolve the invisible hair issue. But honestly, I think the easiest solution would be that I just dye my hair. So yeah. The conversation earlier has started me looking into writings about disability on the left, and man, it is bleak. Oh God. Spec, I'm very sorry for the bleakness of it all. It is, isn't it? I was about to say dye your hair white. Bluebirds, I might have to. You know, I think it just makes the most sense. Might be what might have to happen. You can't imagine me with white hair. Yeah, I mean, I've had it before, but it is a lot of writing seems to hand wave the disability thing away. Yep. 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 And when it does try and talk about it, nothing I'm reading seems to really cover anything about mass producing life-saving medicine and materials. Exactly, Spec. That is, you know, a big issue, right? It's like, look, we all agree that capitalism's bad, okay? We all agree capitalism's bad. Capitalism is the issue, okay? Hang on, I'm going to go back to the other album because I like it better. And yeah, you know, when we imagine a world after capitalism, in my opinion, you know, we need to use the industrial, you know, power that capitalism you know, has developed. We need to use that to, you know, keep producing mass producing life-saving medicine, materials, wheelchairs, you know, masks, you know, whatever. You know, there are a lot of things that we do need to keep mass producing. You know, even after capitalism. Just because we get rid of capitalism doesn't mean we get rid of mass producing things. Because if not, like so many people are going to be absolutely screwed. You know? People seem to generally think we'll just have bespoke solutions to individuals' problems. Anarchist, Marxist, doesn't matter. They all seem to talk about capitalist alienation of disabled folks, and they'll be better with us, we promise. Yeah. I mean, the reason I've been leaning Marxist recently is just because the Marxist theory that I've read speaks so deeply to me in ways that make a lot of sense and that give me a lot of hope, because when things make sense to me and there's like a logical kind of plan, I guess. I don't know, just when there's this kind of scientific approach to it all. But I do agree that, I am terrified about the place of disabled people in the world as it is now and in the world as we can imagine it, because a lot of people don't really think of disabled people when they imagine a different way of life, Like, I agree there's a shitload of alienation of disabled folks under capitalism, but damn, at least pretend to talk about how you're going to provide insulin for the massive amount of diabetics in the world. Exactly, Spec, okay? So insulin is a really, 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 really good example of something that needs to be mass produced, no matter what kind of system we end up, transitioning to. We can't just, wave our hands and say, oh, yes, well, No. Industry is very, very important to disabled people. And as I was saying earlier, disabled people aren't some, small minority of folk that you can just kind of brush away. No, disabled people are, your grandma, your mom, your cousin, you, it may be in 20 years, so. Not only does it need to be mass produced, but it needs to be strictly regulated, because contaminated insulin will straight up murder you. Exactly. Right? Exactly. This is the kind of issue that I am incredibly interested and invested in talking about and thinking about, and trying to include in my political stance. Your TikTok for you page is so full of neopronoun discourse for some reason. Why are we even? Oh God, I'm so sorry. I don't use TikTok. But I can imagine that there's a lot of discourse on there that would be incredibly disheartening to read. Yeah. TikTok is awful for queer discourse because it's full of teenagers who haven't realized that other people's identities aren't up for discussion. Yeah, and a lot of people get just so angry about, like, two people who are in a relationship that doesn't affect them in any way. And they get so angry because one of those people identifies as like a trans guy and the other person happens to use the word lesbian for themselves. But like if they're both fine with it and they're having a great relationship and like whatever, like Jesus Christ, like don't send them death threats. Like holy crap. Like it's terrifying, like people are having to, I would imagine a lot of people are very scared about speaking out online about their relationships because they're so worried about being dogpiled by people telling them to kill themselves just because of how their partner identifies and how they identify. And it ignores so much of shared history of trans men and lesbians. It's just annoying. Oh yeah, I mean, of that as well. Right, exactly. It's historically, it just ignores decades of stuff. I mean, I'll be honest, I still call myself and consider myself an anarchist, but I've also shifted towards using it as a lens framework for viewing other ideologies and systems, instead of using it as an ideology in of itself. That's a good way to see it, Spec. I used to feel quite similar to you, actually. Like I called myself and considered myself an anarchist, but at the same time, I wasn't really married to it as an ideology. It was more kind of just a way to describe myself, I suppose, in moments where people would put me on the spot, like, "What are you?" So yeah, I totally understand. Sorry, everyone. I've kind of slowed down on the painting front, and I've just been interacting with chat a bit. But I suppose that's fine, right? Some streamers just do that and don't paint at all. So I need to be a little bit, a little bit softer on myself with there. Hang on. Lenny, if you want to send me an Earl URL, please feel free to do so in Twitch private messages, because I've disabled links in chat because I was getting harassed when I came back to Twitch at the start of the year by Hassan and Vosh fanboys. So I disabled links because I was worried someone would post something awful or something. So, but you can send me it in a private message. I love the way you say Earl. Oh God, URL. I don't know why I say Earl. Earl like Earl, like some guy called Earl. I don't know. I don't know why I say Earl. It's like, what? Earl Grey. I think a lot of people are still clung to the idea of a post-capitalist society being the kind of utopia that's in movies or certain sci-fi, where where no one is ever unwell. They don't want to think too deeply into it to realize the eugenicsy angle of those kinds of fantasies. Their focus is how do we have no suffering, not how do we help those who will inevitably need it. Flying Rat Dog, what a great take. That is a very, very good take indeed. That's a brilliant take. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Yeah, there's this idea that, you know, once we get rid of capitalism, everyone's going to be fine and dandy and you know, why would any? Oh my god! Sorry, my Roomba just randomly like started screaming at me. I have never chatted before applying for disability in the US, so I'm thinking a lot about things recently. Well, thanks for speaking up. It's very nice of you to share your take up there, because I think that's a very good take. Roombas are famously pro-capitalist. Well, I'm trying to make mine into an anti-capitalist Roomba. You know, we're getting there. Yeah, that is a brilliant first message. Flying Rat Dog. That utopia is represented in part because of the media that doesn't include disabled people. Very true. And there's also in media, now look, I'm sorry to go off on Wall-E again, because I know a lot of people like that movie, but in a lot of media, there's this idea that capitalism makes people into like these, like, you know, I don't know, like, okay, sorry, I feel a bit incoherent here, but you know in Wall-E how it's like portrayed how the ills of capitalist society have made all of humans into these people who need mobility scooters and only drink sludge, and like they have iPads like attached to their scooters that they can interact with, and it's just like, what? That's literally just me. Like I'm in a wheelchair and I drink sludge and I have to interact with iPads. Like, what? And that's not because of like, that's not capitalism. That's because I'm disabled. I don't know. Rob, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Flying Rat Dog, good luck in your quest for applying for disability. I myself, I'm going to start trying to apply for disability now that I have my residency card. I have my residency card finally. I picked it up yesterday thanks to a friend who took me there in their car. I gave them some of my food stamps in return. So yeah, I have a residency card now, so I should finally be able to start applying for some kind of disability help, because, you know, I'm no longer considered some kind of, you know, random person on French soil that has no, you know, rights for benefits. Wall-E was about capitalism. Well, I think it is. I mean, I haven't seen it in ages either. I don't know why I have such like, I don't know why I keep complaining about Wall-E, because it's a film, it's a movie I saw once, like 6 years ago. but for some reason I keep ranting about it. If you ever feel up to it, just make a YouTube video about Wally. I mean, I could probably I could do that. Yeah. Wally is like idiocracy for kids. Oh my god, that's a really good take. That's a really good take. Yeah, the beginning of Wally is fine, and then it kind of just devolves into a very strange take on like what is bad about our society, and it just seems to blame overweight disabled people, or at least like it makes it out like I don't know. It's a mess. I need to see it again, honestly. I mean, I haven't seen it I haven't really seen it recently enough to have a good take about it. I just like complaining about it for some reason. I sent you a PM. Thank you. I will check it out. Thank you so much for another gifted sub, Rob. Eternal comrade, Rob. I must move on. Please try to be well and go forward. Thank you, Lenny. I will check out the link you sent me. I hope your chess learning's going well. I've taken a little bit of I haven't played chess in about a week, which is quite surprising because I've been playing chess every day for most of this year. It's been one of my main coping mechanisms. So I hope to get back to that. So thank you, Lenny, for stopping by. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. I'd like to get to 1,000 chess elo before 2023. And now that might be a bit of a steep goal there, but I am one to enjoy setting challenges for myself. Take care to you too, Lenny. Thank you for stopping by. Both Wally and Idiocracy are almost capitalism bad, but they both seem to blame consumers for falling for the corporations' propaganda, not the corporations and propagandists themselves. Yeah, it's like, let's point and laugh at all these, these dummy people for like being in mobility scooters and using iPads. It's just like, I'm sorry, what? Oh, let's point and laugh at all these people for eating powdered food. Okay, so we're basically just making fun of disabled people at this point, really. Wally could have carried an effective anti-capitalist message and instead decided to go for a fat people bad message. Right, exactly. It's really strange, isn't it? And you're right saying that it's like two movies stuck together, because the start of the movie is really quite good, really. I mean, I remember when I saw it, I was quite invested. I thought the robots were really cute. I loved the messaging about the environment and trash and all of that. And then suddenly it kind of veered off into like, and here are the baddies. Fat disabled people with iPads. And it's just like, hang on. This doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem right. I feel like I've been bamboozled. Like I've been roped into watching this movie and getting invested in these cute robots, and now suddenly I feel like the movie's insulting me. It's like the movie was like, psych, you're the issue. And I'm like, oh no, I've been had. The movie got me. I thought the movie didn't, was against capitalism and like was going to blame the system. But actually, apparently, it's my fault. You know? I don't know. Kind of a weird movie. A really weird movie. Right, I'm gonna press play on Bob Ross again and try and get back to some painting. I'll take another painkiller actually, because my back has been killing me. I'm an old man. Yeah, the classic bot and switch. Like they get you with the cute robots and then suddenly they're dissing disabled people and you're like, wait, hang on. This is just ableist bullshit. God damn it. Not again. I thought I was watching a cute movie for kids that had an anti-capitalist message. Isn't it weird how millionaires are always evil in movies, but they never like talk shit about capitalism? Yeah. It is weird, isn't it? But also, it makes total sense because it's kind of it. I would say that it sells currently. Trashing billionaires and millionaires is kind of in style, but you can't really do that. You can't really do that and criticize capitalism because that would, that might stir up revolutionary sentiment in the general population, and we can't be having that. So instead, we'll just make the billionaires and millionaires evil, but we won't ever talk about the system that creates them. I feel like that's the case in a lot of media at the moment. I don't know. It's the impression I get anyway. Like it's kind of riding on this anti-billionaire, anti-millionaire sentiment that a lot of people have at the moment, justifiably, but without really ever addressing the core problem, without really ever going too far into the revolutionary ideas that could liberate us from these millionaires and billionaires hoarding the wealth, It's it's quite a nifty little technique I find that they've got going on. That's working out quite well for them, If you look at the the quote unquote anti-billionaire, anti-millionaire media that's been coming out in the past years, it's been working very well, but very rarely do you see true revolutionary anti-capitalist sentiment, explicitly, because I want explicitness. I'm kind of done with incredibly implicit messaging when it comes to this stuff. I want this kind of media to say it how it is. Stop beating around the bush. Say what you mean. Because if not, it just comes off as pandering. It comes off as, Hmm. I'm trying to. Bob Ross is just so good at reflections in water. Like, he is just amazing. I mean, he's amazing for many, many reasons, but I really do feel like his reflections, they're just, they just appear out of nowhere. And this happened last time we did a painting with Bob Ross episode as well. I was just, I was dumbfounded at how these reflections just appeared in the water and looked beautiful. I'll try and get some reflection activity going on, but I don't think it's my forte. So, okay, just a little question as a streamer. Do you all enjoy the face cam? Does it improve the stream? I feel like, because I do want to get back into it, and I'm feeling okay about it today because it's smaller than it used to be, and so it's a bit reassuring. Because when I watch streams, I must admit it is quite nice when I do see the streamer's face because, it's a bit more relatable, I suppose, You like the face cam. You're pro face cam. It is nice, isn't it? Because then you can see my face. You can see me, looking like a mess. It's relatable, Some relatable stuff going on. And you know what? I'm not feeling too bad about it today, which is good. Perhaps this is a new era in the korviday content where I am more comfortable with my own face. As weird as that sounds, like, why? What is it about being seen that's so weird for me? I don't know. I do need to get over it though, because in this line of work, it's a bit of a problem, isn't it? A bit of a problem when you want to make video content if you can't film your own face. I mean, it does get in the way of stuff, I would say. You have good expressions. Thank you. Tiny Corv being perceived as scary. Yes, it is. That's why the face cam is currently so small. It's because I'm a little bit scared, a little bit afraid, but as I get less afraid, my face will expand and soon it will cover the entire screen, and then suddenly it will expand more and it will cover the entire world. Everything will just be my face. Ellie is being like a little kid right now. Like, she keeps walking into my wheelchair. Yeah, she keeps walking into my wheelchair like, why aren't you paying attention to me? She always does this when I stream. Because usually, usually she's, my whole, she is my whole life. But when I stream, it is the one time, when I'm not really focused on her and she's a bit of a diva, you know? Globy day. Well, yeah, I mean, I will turn it off if it's too much for me, but I want to get to the point where I'm confident having it on, because I think that having a face to a voice is good. And I think that, as Rob said, I think expressions can make things more entertaining, and I like watching streams where I can see people's faces. So, bit of a drama queen. Oh yeah, my dog is definitely a drama queen. I'm just going to let her out because she wants to go out in the garden. There we go. Nice and fresh at this time. She likes to go out and all my hand gestures. Oh God, yeah. I am a bit of a flappy hand. I'm a flappy hand guy. What can I say? You know, I don't have an official, diagnosis, but let's just say I've been researching autism ever since I was 11. So, as soon as I'm excited or passionate or stimulated, the hands just go wild. It's just how it is, I can't help it. It just happens. Right. Hang on. I'm not a doctor, but you're definitely autistic. Thank you. Thank you for your non-doctor opinion. That's I'm gonna write it on my CV. My CV. Right. Let's see. Look, I feel like we're getting somewhere with this painting. We're not, we're still kind of far off from... Bob Ross has got a whole island. I need to go backwards again. I'm so sorry. We've watched this video like 50 times. I want to go back to... hang on. Right. I want to go back to when he does like the island, because I want to... Diagnosis: predisposed to jazz hands. Yes. Predisposed to jazz hands and listening to smooth jazz. That's me. Predisposed to jazz. Hands/music. Okay. So Bob has actually done a few trees here. I don't think it's too bad if my painting's not exactly the same as Bob's, I'll add another tree here just for... Okay, hang on. Okay, so here are the... Okay, so we've got the reflections. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and here it is. What's he doing? Okay. He's doing some blending. Oh my God, okay, this is... Okay, let's try and do a bit of that. Oh no, that looks bad. No. Okay, that didn't work. Can I just... I don't know if that's doing anything. Is that doing anything? Oh, that is doing something. Yeah, I think that kind of looks more like a reflection. You're using a different medium. Yeah, that's a good point, Lance. It's not going to look ever the same, Okay, hang on. Pause a second, Bob Ross. I'm going to get like a green... I don't know, like a greeny yellow? Once again, thank you so much to everyone who has stopped by for today's stream. Your support means a lot. I do apologize for disappearing again for a few days. Had a bit of a rough week, but I'm back now, full force and feeling good about the future. Trying to. And, I appreciate the support, be it participating in chat, it means a lot. Lurking and watching means a lot as well. And obviously donations and subs mean an absolute ton. It really does mean an absolute ton, because been a bit of a financially scary time at points, but thanks to you all, I'm holding in there, So yeah, I think that maybe a bit more yellow, maybe a bit more green. I think we could maybe push it. Push it a bit more. Not trying to be mean, but how does watching support you? Because I haven't seen ads. Yeah, I removed all of the ads. Maybe my questioning is rude. Oh, no, it's not rude. Don't worry. Oh, there are things that I consider rude, but I don't think I'm one to, I don't consider that rude. I don't think you should be too worried about stepping on my toes when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like I don't consider that rude at all. How does watching support me? Well, the more people who watch me, the more likely new viewers will click on the stream, because they'll see that, like, I don't know, I have 20 viewers or so, and they'll be like, oh, 20 people watching. That must mean this person maybe is cool and funny and interesting. So yeah, it'll bump up my stream in the Twitch search function when people look at just chatting and they scroll down or whatever, or they look up the LGBT tag or the disabled tag. My stream will come up higher in the search results. So yeah, watching even without donating or subscribing definitely does help. And it also motivates me to come back, to be honest. Like, even if you don't donate or subscribe, watching and participating in chat, it makes my day, to be honest, like emotionally and psychologically. And that means a lot, it means a lot, even if it isn't, monetarily financial. It counts. Yeah, it counts as moral support for sure. And moral support for me is incredibly valuable, because sometimes, I don't want to cry, because I feel like the tears are going to come, because I'm an emotional person. What can I say? But for example, today before streaming, I was just having an awful day. Like, I just couldn't see, I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I was just feeling really beat down after my week of interactions with the French bureaucracy and benefit system that are trying to come for me. They literally want to take me to court over like a month of benefits that I received when I didn't have a residency card. So yeah, I was just feeling really beat down, and I was just feeling like there was no light at the end of the tunnel, and I was just feeling like a pretty useless human who didn't have much to contribute, and who wasn't able to even keep up with streaming every day when it should be something that I should be able to do every day. I don't know, I was just feeling really bad. And since I started streaming, I feel a lot better. And that's mostly thanks to you all participating in chat, saying really interesting things, asking me questions about politics and talking about stuff. Yeah, it all helps me feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, really, which is really important, emotionally. So it's like a two-sided parasocial thingy in a way. Oh, 100%, Vivian James, 100%. I've said a few times that I want to make another song about parasocial relationships as kind of like a part two to my first song. about parasocial relationships. And in this second song, I want to talk about how my view of parasocial relationships has changed in light of streaming, because ever since I've started streaming this year, you know, this year that has been one of the toughest years physically, emotionally, financially, you know, in a lot of respects, I've realized that how much it has been helping me to interact with people in this way. So yes, it's like a two-sided parasocial thingy in a way. I definitely benefit from streaming in an emotional capacity and a moral capacity. I feel less alone, you know? In a way that I don't think I ever felt when I was doing YouTube. Because, I mean, I don't know. I think when I was doing YouTube, the parasocial interactions that felt good, I mainly had on Twitter and maybe on Discord, sometimes in YouTube comments, but honestly, after a while, I must admit, I stopped reading the YouTube comments so much because it can be quite jarring to read some of the stuff that people post on YouTube in YouTube comments. So yeah, I would say that emotionally, you know, the parasocial side of streaming for me is incredibly beneficial, and that's why even if you don't have the money to subscribe or donate, your presence, be it in chat or just lurking and watching, it actually means a lot. You know, when I go back over my VODs and I see that, you know, one of my VODs has 70 views or something, I'm really happy. You know, that makes me happy that 70 people have watched my VOD, you know. It makes me feel less alone, I guess. And yeah, you know. Hey chat, hey korviday. Hello 42. A lot of big streamers don't even stream every day. That's very true. But I would like to stream every day because I think that I am actually capable of it. You know? I think that I am capable of it, and most of what holds me back from streaming every day is my own mental health issues that get in the way of it. My own internal abusive monologue gets in the way of me showing myself, and that's, you know, part of the reason that I tend to hide away. But I think I'm getting a lot better with that, and I'm gradually replacing my internal abusive monologue with something that is less abusive towards myself. And, you know, I think once I have a bit more of a control over that, I think that streaming every day is within my capacity. Because, as most of you have probably noticed, rambling comes quite naturally to me. And I do enjoy it quite a lot. You know, it's not something that I seem to be a rambler. And it's very funny, actually, because my YouTube videos, filming my YouTube videos, like sitting in front of the camera and speaking into the camera about a subject with a script, was actually really difficult for me. I would stutter, I would be like, I'd get it wrong, you know, I'd trip over my words. It didn't really come very naturally to me. But for some reason, rambling live on stream, I seem to be much more eloquent. Is that a word? I seem to be better at formulating my thoughts this way, which I don't know why. I am still very confused about it. Maybe it's the fact that I'm live, and so my brain goes into this mode of just, you've got no choice, just talk. So yeah, in a lot of ways, I feel more comfortable streaming than I did being a YouTuber. Which is very weird, really, because I never thought that would be the case, because I've always had quite a bad case of stage fright in real life. And I thought, well, that means that streaming is never really going to be my thing, And admittedly, as many of you probably have noticed, people who've been following my streams for a while, I've had quite a hard time, getting used to the format and turning up. But now that I think I've gotten over the worst parts of that fear now, it seems to me like I seem to be okay at rambling, for quite an extended period of time. I enjoy the conversation going from Bob Ross to ableism and leftist spaces to Wally without skipping a beat. Good. I'm happy about that. I like your streams. It's nice because I don't get a lot of social interaction, and this feels like a safe way to get back into socializing. A lot of like-minded people who actually get it here, so I feel less intimidated. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. I also feel like it's helping me to socialize. I can't really go out and socialize with people at the moment, so it's the closest I get to kind of to that kind of situation, I suppose. Why does my little island look like shit when his looks so good? I shouldn't be so hard on myself. It's just that Bob Ross, he's really good at what he does. Yeah, he is good. I mean, no one's questioning that. I'm just restating, the fact that everyone knows. Bob Ross he's very good at painting. Okay, hang on. I think I need a little bit of a highlight here. He's got like a highlight going on. He makes it look so easy. He does, doesn't he? Man, I think your painting looks cool, just a different medium. Yeah, right. We're kind of like, we're kind of doing an interpretation, right? Perhaps as I get more comfortable with painting landscapes, because honestly, this is probably my least. I'm really out of my comfort zone doing this. I'm much more in my comfort zone doing faces. I love doing portraits. I like sketching with black, just a black pencil, sketching faces. Now that is where I feel the most comfortable. So doing colourful landscapes is really just not really what I'm used to. But once I get a little bit more comfortable with it, I was thinking maybe we can do these Bob Ross tutorials, but like I follow along, but with completely different colours, like maybe his has like a blue sky and I just go for a purple sky, and like, I don't know, orange trees, we could go for something completely surrealist and just completely bonkers, But for now, we will copy the master. We will absorb his greatness, because you must learn the rules in order to break them, I think. I don't know. I'm just saying words at this point. Jojo landscape. Yes, Vivian James. I haven't seen Jojo yet, but I really should, because the art just looks absolutely fantastic. Like the colors and the just very inspiring art. I really should watch it, you know, because visually I've just never seen anything like it. Honestly. Gonna get a bit more of this green color. Just gonna ask my friend if they're okay. Here we go. Your sky looks soft to the touch. Oh, that's nice. That's good. I always like it when you kind of you have this tactile feeling to paintings and art. You kind of want to touch it. So it's a very nice compliment there. God, his brushes are just beautiful. Oh my, Rob. Right, so Rob, who is, you know, a bit of a legend in my chat, to be honest. I mean, what would chat be without Rob at this point? Sent me a brush pack that I need to download and install, and I will do it for the next stream. A brush pack for the software that I'm using of brushes that are like the ones in Disco Elysium art. So I don't know if everyone in chat is aware of Disco Elysium, the game, but the art in that game is just beautiful. It is just lovely. I just love the art in that game. And so yeah, there's a brush pack that I'm going to install for the next stream. And perhaps we can try and do a Bob Ross painting with the Disco Elysium brushes and see how that turns out. Like Bob Ross landscape in a Disco Elysium style would be, you know, if I can, you know, if I can manage to get that right, I think that could look really, really cool, you know? Disco Elysium landscapes. Now, Bob is adding a lot of trees here. I don't think I'm going to add that many trees. Whoa, I just Googled it. It looks amazing. I love the visible strokes. Right? Isn't it beautiful? I just love the art style so much. And the fact that there's a brush pack that I can just install on this software, I'm really excited to try it out. And I'd completely forgotten before the stream. Otherwise, I would have installed it before the stream. But I will install it before the next stream. And that way we can try out those brushes, because I'm a bit of a sucker for visible brush strokes, you know. I do love them. You know? Although, you know, I will say Bob Ross is teaching me to use the blend brush a bit more. And it is quite nice. I'm not one to usually use the blend brush. But using it a little bit, it seems to really be, you know, softening my art a little bit, which is quite nice. I'm quite enjoying it. You know, taking me out of my comfort zone. Good old Bob. God, he's so good at trees. It really is quite astounding. I suppose I'll just go in here and just kind of surround a bit. Bob Ross paintings look like idyllic. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Idyllic pictures. It's wild. I know, right? They're just beautiful. And he's doing all of this without an undo function as well. I mean, I've got the undo function to save me from my own mistakes, but Bob here is just going in and doing what he does best, you know? I'm not sure about what I'm doing here. Uh, Hmm. Maybe I should just leave that tree like this and do some of this bush stuff that is going on. Well, that's quite a nice little texture I found there, actually. Oh, that is nice. Hang on, we might have found something that... Ah. Might have gone too far there. But I do like the sentiment here. Okay. There was a stipple brush under inking. Ooh! Just get some green in there. Doesn't look too bad, does it? Wow, actually it doesn't look that good. Stipple brush under... Hang on, let me see. Inking. What do you think? Should we go for Inca? Try this. Ooh. Maybe if I reduce the opacity. Ooh. Rob, I think you might have found it. That's more of a stipple effect there, isn't it? What do you think? It's a little bit better, isn't it? Like we've got a bit more of a... Yeah, I think that could work. Yeah, that's working. I'm not doing it right there, but I think there's potential, right? Yeah, smaller brush, reduce the opacity, and we've almost got like a stipple effect, right? God, I really need some tree practice. Like, I'm not gonna lie, my tree's kind of ass. Sorry, that's not really the Bob Ross way of saying things. I should be saying happy little accidents. Happy little ass accidents. Yeah, I like this tree on the right here. I think that's quite nice. I think that's quite a nice effect there we've got there. If I could try and Ooh, if I could try and replicate that on the tree over here, we might have something interesting. Hmm. No, I'm not convinced by my tree skills, you know. Not the most convincing. Oh well. We're learning here, we're learning. Landscapes, a happy little accident. The texture rush you had before was smaller. How's the music volume? Is it loud enough to be hearable but not annoying? Oh, I'll get the texture brush back. I guess we could try stucco with a smaller brush. Reduce the opacity. Ooh, hang on. That's quite nice. I think we liked stucco last stream as well. I think I just... Oh, hang on. That looks better. Now that looks more like a tree. I think that looks a little bit better. I would argue. Although, I mean, Bob's obviously look amazing, but I think I need to work on the trees in the background a bit. Like, the background's just a bit of a blobby mess. Very bristly. I feel like the reflections in this painting, we have leveled up a little bit. Because the last painting, I mean, the reflections were just non-existent. I mean, mine just didn't have reflections. Whereas now, we've got a hint of something going on. Yeah. See, this is why we need face cam. I mean, all of these little, like, hand movements. Even when face cam isn't on, I'm still doing them. So we might as well have face cam so that we can, you know, so that we can see them. Hand cam. Hand cam. Dog cam is currently, you know, I will bring it back. We've simply had a little bit of a dog, you know, she's been on holiday. Let's just say it's been her week off. It's been her week off. Mostly I did remove dog cam for a bit because she was so scared of me slapping at mosquitoes. And so I didn't want to like try and monetize my scared dog. Like, that's just awful, you know? So we removed the dog cam while I've been trying to teach her with a lot of treats and love that me slapping mosquitoes is not a threat. And it seems to be working. She's doing a lot better now with the mosquitoes. So the dog cam will be back. How is Ellie? Oh, she's doing great. She's doing a lot better ever since I started giving her a treat every time I slap a mosquito. And she's doing great. I did yesterday we had a grooming session where I like to keep her coat looking lovely. And I'm a bit, I like to have, I don't like it when she has a lot of fur coming off, when a dog hasn't been brushed properly and you stroke them, there's just loads of fur coming off. So I quite like to keep her coat nice and brushed, so that when you stroke her, she's just, she's not like spewing hair everywhere. So we had a nice grooming session. And I also have found a new way to attach her leash to my wheelchair, because for now I can't really go very far with her in the street. I can only go like down my street and back again. But when I used to do it, it would hurt my back because I have like this leash that like attaches around my waist, like it's a special dog lead with a waist attachment thing. And so what I would do is I would attach it around my waist, and then I'd attach the leash to the thing, and then we'd go out, and she's almost honestly like a bit like a lap dog. Like she kind of pulls me along, and that's how I don't know if I should say I walk her. I roll her in the wheelchair. But the issue is that every time I do it, I'd get really bad back pain, because like obviously a dog pulling you around your waist, when you've already got like, I've already got some kind of issue with degenerative discs in my back or something. So it was quite painful. But now I found a new way to walk her. Because I attached the thing around my whole wheelchair instead of my waist. And that is amazing, because now it doesn't hurt. So we've been for a few walks as well. She met a Chihuahua. She met a Labrador. The Chihuahua was very rude, but that's just, it's not the Chihuahua's fault. I think a lot of people just let those dogs get up to whatever, they kind of just let them do whatever they please, It's not the dog's fault. Oh no, low battery. That's not good. But yeah, she's doing quite well. She's currently, she's curled up on my bed right now. I've kind of ruined the background. What have I done? I'll go back. I'll just remove everything I just did, because it looked better before. Yeah, it looks better like that. That's not looking too bad. I mean, it's nothing like Bob's, but we tried. We did try. Right, I would love to keep going, but my tablet's running out of battery, so I have to go and charge it a bit. How long have I been streaming? Oh God, I've been streaming for 2 hours and a half. Well, actually, I would like to keep streaming, but I'm going to go and charge the tablet for a bit. Drink a lot of water, because I've been talking non-stop. And then I think a tablet will only take like half an hour or so to charge. So consider this a bit of an interlude. And I will be back in a bit for some more Bob Ross, I think, because I would like to keep painting. Maybe we'll do another Bob Ross video. Look, this is the last one. For anyone who missed it. I do quite like the colours in this one. I really did enjoy doing this one. So yeah, now we've got 2 beautiful Bob Ross streams so far, and I would like to do another one later. This is the one we did last time. This one was really fun. I really did enjoy this one. The colours are just lovely, aren't they? Yeah, I'm quite happy with this one. So yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit of an interlude / break, and I will be back in I don't know, half an hour or so, to do some more Bob Rossing, hopefully. So thank you all for stopping in. Really nice to stream. You all make it a lovely time every time. So, you know, thank you all for making my experience on this website so lovely, really. I was very afraid of coming back to the internet after what happened last year. But honestly, it's just really restored my faith in content creation, and it's yeah, thank you all so much. Ready to bob some Ross. Yes, I will be back very soon, ready to bob some more Ross. So yeah, thank you all for stopping by, and streaming suits you. I thank you, Rob. That actually really means a ton, because I was, you know, at some points I was kind of, I don't know, doubting, you know, well, why am I even doing this? Like, what have I got to say? What have I got to, you know, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it, so it means a lot. Right, see you all soon. I'm taking a bit of a break. Stay hydrated, have a little bit of a snack, and I will be streaming again very soon to do some more art stuff, Bob Ross stuff, you know, complaining about the monarchy, rambling incoherently about different political leanings. You know how it is. See you all soon. And thank you all for making my experience on this website so bloody lovely. You know, it is, I am very humbled. Thank you. See ya.